If you are considering relocating to Salem, Oregon, or honestly anywhere in Oregon and buying a house, you are going to for sure want to listen to today's video until the very end, because today I'm going to be answering 5 very commonly asked questions that I get from our home buyers that are in that very same position. My name is Mariah. My husband Spencer and I are a top producing husband and wife real estate team here in the Willamette Valley, and we get emails on a very consistent basis from our YouTube buyers, people like you that are watching these YouTube videos that are either relocating to from so many different places, which is so much fun, or that already live in Oregon and are just wanting to buy or sell a house here. And so if that's you, don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to get a call with you and talk about the next steps. My email address is below. Feel free to email me anytime. We would love to work with you as well. We do work with a ton of relocation buyers, meaning we have systems in place to facilitate a smooth transaction from start to finish for our buyers that are watching our videos and are relocating to our area from all over. And we cover a pretty wide range, honestly. We're local here in Salem, and we service anywhere in the Willamette Valley. We service anywhere within about an hour drive of Salem in any direction, which covers a lot of different areas. So that leads me to our first question that we get asked often, which is, do I need to be in Oregon during the transaction at all? I know a lot of our buyers are people who are moving from, some of them are moving from neighboring states like Washington, California, but many of them are moving from much further away states. And regardless of, how far or how close you're moving from, a lot of times it just doesn't work for our buyers' schedules to be here, or like financially, it just doesn't make sense for our buyers to fly out for the showings or even fly out honestly at all during the transaction. More often than not, actually, our home buyers that are relocating, at least from out of state, more often than not, they don't come to the home they're buying or even the town that they're moving to until after they close on their home. So that would be my answer to that question. No, you don't have to be here. We are able to handle all of the showings virtually. We're able to handle the inspection. You're of course welcome to fly or drive into town for that if you're able to, but like I said, usually our buyers that are relocating just aren't able to make that work. We can actually have you sign at the closing table, not even locally here in Salem. If that's what you need to do, just let us know before closing, of course, so we can arrange it and we can have you sign for closing at a title company closer to you. So yes, we can facilitate a smooth transaction from start to finish, whether you are here in person or not. We've done it many, many times, and we do it on a very consistent basis that way. My next question from relocation buyers that we get often is, how rainy is Oregon really? It's surprising to me how many of our buyers we work with on a very consistent basis have never been to Oregon. And many of them, like I said, they don't come here until after they close on their home. So these are all questions that people have. I've lived in Oregon my whole life, so I may just be used to it. I can say I have been getting outside. It's December right now at the time of filming this, and I've been getting outside, going on walks almost every day over the last week, and I've not been rained on. So I can say that I do get outside year round, and that it's really never been an issue for me. But again, like I said, I'm from here, so I could just be, used to it. I could just be biased in that way. I did just do a look before this video at the 10-day forecast in the Salem area of Oregon, at least. And in December, right now, the 10-day forecast, we have 3 days of rain on that 10-day forecast. Out of those 3 days, there's probably not gonna be any like downpouring all day long rain. Usually when there is rain on the forecast in the Salem area, at least, what that looks like is off and on sprinkles, might downpour for a little bit, but it's usually, we do get those days, so don't get me wrong, like don't be disappointed if you move here. We definitely get those days, spring, winter time of downpouring. Like that does happen here, but most of the time I would say when it rains, it's a little bit more sprinkling, or it's like off and on. We could get rain and then the sun's out for a few hours and then it might rain again. So that's usually what it looks like when it does rain. The third question is, how do I know how much home I can afford? This is super important. You do not want to obviously get yourself in a position where you're overspending. So the very first step in the home buying process when you're buying a house with us here in Oregon is shoot me an email. and then we'll get a call on the schedule and talk about the next steps. It doesn't have to be very long. If you don't have a long time, it can be short, but basically we're just gonna chat about the next steps and point you in the right direction. And on this call or after this call, I will then send you the information to a solid local lender, one that you can trust, one who we have seen save and transactions and just close so many successful transactions over and over with us, because who you work with as a lender really, really matters. And it's a very big deal. So you're free to use who you want, but after we do our call, we will then send you the information to a lender that you can very much trust. This lender will be able to give you an idea of what your monthly payment will look like at each price point, or how much you need down with certain loan types, or what loan types might work best for you. And then we can move forward from there. The fourth commonly asked question from buyers relocating to our area is, are there any towns on the outskirts of Salem that are USDA eligible? There absolutely are. There are actually many, many towns on the outskirts of Salem in every different direction that are USDA eligible. So if you want to use a USDA loan, that's good news for you. There are a lot of smaller towns all over, like I said, every direction, all over the outskirts of Salem. I would love to chat more with you about that, more in depth about that, give you some town suggestions that you might be interested in that are USDA eligible on a call, a buyer consultation call. Like I said, that's the first step. Shoot me an email if you would like to get a call on the schedule. My fifth and final question is, how far in advance do I need to contact you when we decide to make a move to Oregon and buy a house with you? And my answer to that question is honestly as last minute or as early as needed. We have had many buyers who were in positions where, because their work was relocating them, they had a very short time frame to find a house and close and get into the home and get here to the Salem area. That happens a lot, but we've also had many instances where buyers are just at the very beginning phases. They don't even maybe know for sure if this is where they want to land. They're looking into places to relocate and they're maybe a year or two out. We're still happy to talk to you. Either way is fine with us, whether you are ready to start looking right now and you need to get here ASAP, or if you are a little bit further out. Either way, we're still happy to talk to you, and we'd love to get your questions answered and just help you get the ball rolling and point you in the right direction. If you're considering relocating to or just buying or selling real estate in Oregon, email me anytime. My email is mariah@vettruscrawfordrealty.com. That will be down below. And if you're considering buying a house in Oregon that's hours away, outside of our area of service, we collaborate with often really great agents, and we are more than happy to help set you up with a very solid agent in that area, whether that's Medford, Oregon, Ashland, Oregon, Klamath Falls. There's so many different towns that are, awesome places to live, but they are hours away from us outside of our area of service. But like I said, we have great agents that we work with and can set you up with one that you can trust. So no matter where you're moving in Oregon, let us know. We'd love to help you. Be sure to head over to my channel where I have an entire playlist dedicated to everything you need to know when you're relocating here to our beautiful, beautiful area. And have a happy new year, everyone. It's almost the new year. We'll see you guys next time.